it's been a while since I posted, so before I get started today, welcome to everyone who's recently subscribed to my channel. My name is Felicia, and although my name is Jersey Wife, Jersey Life, I actually don't live in New Jersey, just haven't gotten around to changing my name yet. Today, we are going to talk about the ponytail palm. As you guys can see, I don't know if you can see, but this ponytail palm has a ton of brown tips. So what I'm going to do is just give this a really good trim. There's a lot of brown tips that I've noticed in the center of the plants. And of course, you know, when you have your plants in the winter, they kind of go through the dormancy period. You might see brown leaves, yellow leaves, leaves falling off. And this plant is relatively easy to care for. And like I said, I've had this plant, or I don't know if I said it, but I've had this plant maybe for about, I would say about 4 months. 3-4 months now. You don't really have to trim the leaves on your ponytail palm unless you want to. It's more of an aesthetic thing, but most importantly, you don't want the energy from the plant to go to those brown leaves. You want them to go to the more healthy leaves. So let me give you a look at exactly what's going on with the plant. You can probably see it here. I am outside. As you can see, we're finally getting some decent weather around here, so I'm taking advantage. But you see how it goes from like green to brown. Hopefully you can see that. And then that's the case with a lot of the tips. So I'm worried about cutting it because I feel like it's so full and beautiful. Can you guys see that? But at the same time, I don't want a plant that's, you know, looking like it's like half green, half brown. So I'm just going to cut it back. I'm going to cut as much as it needs to be cut. I'm going to cut what has to go, and then we'll go from there. And I might even start cutting my second. I have 2 ponytail palms. I have this one, which I said I've only had for about 3-4 months. And then I have another ponytail palm that I've had for a couple years, and that one has grown quite a bit. So let's get started with the trimming. just finished trimming the plant, and this is what we're looking like. It doesn't look too bad. I don't know why I thought it was gonna look a lot shorter. It is shorter, but it's still pretty full. There are still some stems that are long. It took a while because you really gotta, I had to go through each individual leaf pretty much to make sure there weren't any brown tips, and I'm actually seeing that there was one that I just missed. But this is what it's looking like. Again, this is not something that you have to do with the ponytail palm, but again, if you want the energy from the plant to go to the healthier leaves and not the brown leaves, I would suggest cutting them off. And then also, again, for aesthetic purposes, it's kind of weird to have a plant. There's a car driving by. You don't want to have a beautiful plant that has a lot of brown tips, so I would suggest cutting it, and this is what we're looking like. Before I wrap up the video, I wanted to show you guys my second ponytail palm, or I should say my first ponytail palm. I've actually had this one longer than the one that you guys just saw. As you can see, like, this one is much longer than the other one that you guys just saw, but similar to that one, this one also has brown tips that I have to cut. So I'll do a trim on this one as well. I won't record it unless you guys want me to, of course, but I don't think I'll record this one. It's pretty much just going to be the same deal. I'm just going to be cutting all of the brown off. And what I didn't really explain in the video earlier is when you cut, see this one, hopefully, let me find another one. Well, maybe that's a pretty good example. Let's go back to this one. So you see where you can clearly see where the green, the natural green leaf kind of ends and the brown begins. You can kind of see it there in the center of the screen. That's where you want to cut. So for this one, as an example, let me try to make it a little bit more clear. Well, you guys can see, I would likely cut this one right about here where my thumb is. I would cut it right there to make sure you're truly cutting off all the brown. And then I also wanted to show you some of the leaves on this plant, as you see here, and on the other plant that I was cutting. When you see that it's like split all the way up like this one, I would cut it right around at this point right here. I mean, you're practically cutting the entire leaf, but you wouldn't want to cut, where does the brown start? You wouldn't want to cut the tip only and then leave this split here on the plant. That wouldn't be the best thing to do. Now this one, I would say, and I mentioned it on a previous video, I noticed that there's a lot of like these things going on here. You guys can see that in the center. There's like a lot of like brown blotches and spots. I need to look into that. I'm not sure what that's about. You see it? Yeah, that looks horrible. I may have to just cut all of those out, to be honest, but I'm noticing it a lot on the new growth. So this right here is actually new growth on the ponytail palm, and that's where I'm seeing a lot of those brown spots. This plant, I kept it outside the entire summer, last summer, and then I, brought it in when it started to get cooler outside. So I'm not sure if the brown spots is because of that. I don't know, but I'm just going to get rid of it so it doesn't ruin the entire plant, because I really love this plant. You guys see my Monstera Peru? I have it right here temporarily. And then my Chinese evergreen that I have here on this tray on the floor because I watered it today. And this is my plant stand. If you guys have seen my video before, then you've seen my setup. If not, I will include a link to a video that you can check out. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.